music has always been a big part of my life. And even before that, I was in Miss Saigon in the West End here. And I think from then on, I always enjoyed performing and music. So my parents asked me if I wanted to learn how to play anything. So yeah, from the age of 7, I learned piano and violin, did that my whole life, like up until now. And then I went to the Brit School and met more musicians. And that's kind of how I started session musicianing. Like, I didn't know that was a career that I could pursue. But I met lots of other musicians and started playing with them, started doing different gigs. I even went to uni, but I did accounting. I think lots of people, especially from like conservative backgrounds, don't really know what creative jobs are out there. So from my perspective, I only ever saw the artist. Um, so like the main artist, I was never like, I didn't really notice the band around them, or like say the producers that make the, or songwriters that make the music. And so when I went to the Brit School, that was the first time I realized, oh, there are lots of other jobs within like the music industry and creating music. So yeah, from then on, I was like, oh, okay, I can do this. When I was younger, I was so adamant that I wanted to be an artist, but as I've got older and exposed more to the industry, I think that slightly changed. I kind of like being a session musician and being a producer because there's not that pressure that lots of artists seem to face with like being a social media presence and always having to have content and always having to listen to so many different people's opinions, and like working with different labels isn't very easy because you have to choose the battles that you fight, like in terms of your music, and there's lots of compromise. Whereas like being a musician like I am, or like producing stuff that I have a lot more freedom. The best advice that I've ever received is from Roger Taylor and his musical director. And they were just like, just say yes to everything because you never know where these opportunities could lead you. Um, Sometimes we can be timid to say yes or hesitant, but just say yes because you won't regret saying yes, but you'll probably regret the things that you didn't do. I grew up listening to such different music. I grew up listening to what my parents played, which was like Motown or like, you know, Filipino karaoke. So we love some OPM tunes. But pop music was always a really big thing growing up. Um, so I guess because I listen to such a diverse range of music, that helps me adapt to the different projects that I do. And now I'd like to think that I am more selective in terms of the kind of artists that I play and work for, because I always want to enjoy the music that I'm playing every night, and I want to, you know, be supportive and be part of something that I'm passionate about because I feel like that will translate. I guess I just want to really enjoy the music that I'm playing, and I want to know that the music means something to people. So, for example, like with Maisie Peters, she's such a great songwriter at the age of 22, but every lyric is so like specific and so precise, like nothing's throwaway. Like everything she writes is well thought out, and that really translates to her audience. And so that's the kind of thing that I look for in terms of artists, where they're really passionate about what they do. I just always want to have a creative outlet. So obviously, being a session musician, I'm always playing other people's music, but I find that I definitely need to have some sort of outlet for myself and a way that I can express myself. So I always like to do other projects, and write for different things. Like I started writing for like adverts and that kind of thing, which is really exciting and it's a different skill. Um, but yeah, I just always want to have different things and different collaborations with people because I love creating music with other people as well. There's just a lot more music that's being released into the world. Some people might think that's a bad thing, but I think that's a great thing because um, everyone likes different types of music. So I feel like now there's so much for us to explore and like discover in terms of new music, and we can inspire different people that we've never been able to reach before. So I think it's amazing that everyone has the opportunity to create and release their own music, whether it be through, like, TikTok has become a massive thing where people put their songs there and they kind of explode, which wouldn't have been able to happen before if we didn't have social media. It's great that people can kind of just make music at home and teach themselves. I think that's amazing. But I don't think we should belittle, like, the professional training that people go through. Like, there are so many talented musicians out there, like John Mayer, Jacob Collier, and they're real trained musicians that have worked their lives to be the best at what they do. And that really shows in their music. And I feel like that can only push you further, and, like, in terms of your ability. So I still think it's really important to have training. When I was younger, I was really introverted and found it hard to be in social situations, especially with new people. But touring and having to constantly meet new people, and being with people all the time, really changes you as a person, but in a good way. Like, I think I realized everyone's in the same boat. Everyone's a bit socially anxious. Um, but, if you're passionate about what you do and you're a nice person, that's like my biggest advice. You just got to be a nice person so that people remember you in the best way, and people are more likely to recommend you for other things, because touring as a session musician is like 50%, I say, like, how well you play, and the other 50 is just being easy to get on with, because you spend so much time with people. Like, living on a tour bus is really intense, so you just got to be considerate to everyone that you're with. And if you're just like a nice person to hang out with, then people will want to hang out with you more, and they'll recommend you to other people. If I was feeling uninspired, I would call some of my musician friends and kind of express that and be like, is this normal? Is this how you're also feeling? And yeah, everyone was in the same boat. So I guess that was kind of good to know that it's normal to feel that way. As I've got older and realized what happiness is and success is to me has changed so much. So I think being able to work with artists and make music that I'm passionate about, something that I care about, and also being around a team that I really love and that really love me, that's what I see as success, because that's what makes me happy. I'm getting paid to do it, and I really enjoy the music that I'm making and playing. So I guess my end goal is to just keep doing this for the rest of my life. Yeah, that's what success is to me.